songs that you watched me write. Stole your sweater on that night. You took a picture, keep by my bedside. So you're mine when you're gone, baby, please don't be alone. I got my ticket to the west side. You say my name with your accent, makes me remember how much I missed you. Hope you're planning to stay for a million days. You'll be my summer in December. Hey boy, trust my intuitions always. I'm not superstitious, I got lucky. Stole your heart and it was mine for the taking.
Esports Arena. It is time to kick off week 2 of our Winter Rumble here for Esports Tower. All of our teams are trying to get into our cup games for next week. We have an exciting night planned out for everyone, and I am your host this evening, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and to join me to call all of the fabulous action that'll be happening is the one and only Jem Jacob Palmer. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty well. We have a great lineup tonight, especially after seeing last week's Rumble. As you can see there, we're going to have some great teams ready to play, so I'm ready to get to it.
I am as well. As I said, this is our second week of the Rumble, so all of these teams had a short break after we finished out our fall season. They've all finished very strong, started out very strong within the last couple of weeks, and now we get to begin our second round of our series here. Is there anything you're excited to see tonight?
Well, if we can take another look at just all the teams that are participating right now, because there are some real names that you're going to want to look out for. Of course, we do have top-tier teams that we'd love to see some more of here. In terms of the Eagles have really been making a great performance. It's interesting that we're actually seeing a few teams that really made a story for themselves last week sit out this week. We're not seeing the Barracudas, nor are we seeing the Swerve, which had a great reverse sweep last week, but we're still seeing some other great teams, the Mammoths and the Gators.
I'm very excited to see what the Ghosts bring to the table this week. It's been a little bit of time since we've got to see some action from them. The Eagles have definitely been a competitive team against that team in particular, and we'll be able to see some fabulous gameplay between the two of those. Kind of our top-tier teams this evening, as we are missing our, as you mentioned, our Barracudas and our Swerve, so we'll give the opportunity to shine some light on some other teams this evening.
Been some of those teams that have had some tough matchups against teams like the Barracudas, so maybe clearing out the roster a little bit will give them a chance.
And before we jump into our first match, we'd like to remind all of our friends that are watching on Twitch that you should support your teams, make sure that you celebrate their successes, be respectful to the other fans, and mods will remove anyone who violates these rules. So be nice, of course, and be courteous to everyone. But before we get into our games, there's of course a tradition we must uphold here, and that is bringing in our keys to the game, brought to you by the master himself, Doc Haskell. And the keys to the game today are presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Create those mistakes, punish the double commits, don't overstay, bump opponents to disrupt. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
Yeah, and that bump and demo opponents to disrupt is really going to be a key key part of the game that I think is going to separate these players. When you're able to stop the plays that your opponent is trying to make before they happen, then you can really stop their abilities to get shots on goal, get clears yourself faster. So that's going to be one of the main things I'm looking out for.
I'm going to be looking at those punishing the double commits, because in previous weeks and even at the end of the fall season, we did see quite a bit of double commits and even triple commits that resulted in cross-map goals being scored and even game-changing moments to happen. So let's see if those get cleaned up for these games tonight as we jump into our first one that's going to be against the Gators versus the Hammerheads.
Yeah, Hammerhead's been a team that we haven't really seen a whole lot of, but the Gators are a team kind of been one of those mid-tier teams that has really shown some great moments, been able to win some matches, make some great placements. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do against a team that I sure haven't seen in a while in the Rumble.
Yes, and so we're going to jump into this series tonight. The Gators are going to be taking on the Hammerheads, and both of these teams are up against one another in this Rumble, definitely coming into the corners and trying to make sure that they bring each other up. So it'll be interesting to see how this works out. Both teams very evenly matched, coming out on a strong start, hopefully, as we go into this first kickoff.
Rainey is going to be trying to elevate up there, trying to pass it over to another team. They're all kind of fighting in the corner right now as Crayon gets a tap on it, going to try to clear it out using the wall, but Wi-Fi is going to be able to stop that clear, actually push a demo onto the Gators as well.
Wi-Fi now has that ball right at the mid, but there's that disruption from Doc's keys coming in play, and Clutch right there allowing them to get the ball just for a moment. Rainey gets the ball stolen away once again. It's spiked high. No one has a clean opportunity to get a nice touch for either side. Now Wifey has an opportunity to turn this back around to the midfield, but it's still going to be corralled down here in the corner.
Wi-Fi elevating up, Wifey elevating up again. They're looking to try to get the clear out of their own territory. Rainey, unfortunately, a little bit of an awkward tap there. It's going to allow Crayon the opportunity to try to clear it. Now Wifey again, but it's going to be stopped midfield. Again, an awkward tap there. It seems like both these teams just trying to warm up a bit, trying to get that consistency because the accuracy hasn't been quite on point.
Well,
As soon as I say that.
it happens every single time. It feels like one of us point out something that's wrong, and the teams just decide to say that we are the ones truly messing up and prove us instantaneously that Caster Curse exists in their thing. Going into that next kickoff, Wifey once again has possession of this ball. They've had a lot of ball control for themselves. Unfortunately, it will bounce off the ceiling and see if Fiery Minstrel can get in here and help out. They will get a great shot on goal, but that crossbar that's no one's friend will help out for the Hammerheads there.
Now looking to try to get a clear there, but some great disruption from the Hammerheads is going to prevent that. They're trying to center it up for their second goal. One of them has to rotate back to try to, looks like that's going to be Jamzon there. Trying to get the side control back, but there is going to be a clear from the Gators. Now they're able to get back what they lost and try to get a shot on goal. Great play there by Rainey. He's going to clear it back toward Hammerheads, and now a shot on goal. Those open goals will be punished.
That was absolutely beautiful, and that's definitely punishing the overcommit that was coming out there from the Hammerheads. As we go into this next kickoff, Hammerheads tied with the Gators right now with 3 minutes left. Plenty of time for this to go either direction. It's ultimately going to come up to those rotations as Fire Minstrel gets a great pass into the midfield, but Plee elevates to stop that. Minstrel trying to take back possession of that ball, trying to steal it from Jamazon, who's going to bring it to the mid. Rainey comes in to help them out. It's right in front of the Hammerheads goal, but will get cleared.
Crayon trying to chase it up is going to might have had an opportunity to get a goal there, but now it's cleared way fast by the Gators. Back over toward Hammerhead's goal. Plee has possession of this, going to contest with Fiery. Unfortunately, whiffs on that one. It's a little bit of a bump right into another teammate of the Hammerheads. Looks like it was Rainey. It's going to really prevent any opportunity they had to get a goal. Now Fiery is looking for another clear, but Plee is going to take it away from him. Looking to pass over to where Jamazon is waiting, sees it, and beautifully executed.
The stall out that happened right there just to reclaim the pace of the game definitely shifted that in favor of the Hammerheads. Fantastic play and ball control and time control there coming out from the Hammerheads.
Wifey's clear isn't really going to be that hard for Crayon to set up for another goal here. Jamazon whiffs on that one. Another follow-up from Plee, but they actually don't want to overcommit here. Fiery's going to push it over their heads, though. Hammerheads having to rotate back Crayon towards center field. Another kind of whiff there mid-air from Hammerheads, but they don't have too much to complain of right now since they still maintain their lead. It looks like another demo they're going to place onto the Gators.
For quite a bit of time there, the Gators were being boost-starved just a little bit by the Hammerheads, making it difficult for them to get this ball out of their side of the field. It's still sticking out over here for at least 15 seconds now, finally crossing that midfield stripe. Wifey will take out one of the Hammerheads for a few seconds, but Crayon still maintaining possession for them.
Now as the ball has a lot of verticality, going to make it a little hard to play off of, but Gators managed to find their clear. Gators as a team actually have been working on keeping space between teammates to allow for open rotation, so we'll keep an eye out on the rotations from them, see if they've taken that practice to heart. Fiery now trying to set up, no one to follow up.
Rainey was in the goal, looking to try to just push around that goalkeeper, but unfortunately they needed to be open for their teammate. They still have plenty of time left as we tick down across that 1 minute mark here for the Gators to bring this back. They just need one goal while the Hammerheads looking for that security goal. Rainey, though, has an opportunity here, plays it around Crayon, but it's just a little bit too high. Fiery comes in to help, and with some help from Wifey, they might be able to connect this one into the goal as we tick down to that 40-second mark.
Little bit of a tap toward the goal, off the
Wifey.
crossbar. Wifey trying to save is going to be unable to.
Crayon now has possession with very little pressure on them, drops it down off Fiery Minstrel's hood. It's going straight towards that Gators goal. Wifey grabbing it off the back wall, will elevate with it. It does spike off the ceiling though, so they lose a little bit of possession as Plee stops it down on the ground. Rainey gets a shot in on goal, saved at the last second by Plee.
Ball cleared way back over toward Gators territory. They're going to have to find a clear and make it into a goal fast. They're only going to have 10 seconds left to equalize. Any sort of control over that soccer ball from the Hammerheads would be good now, and that's a nice tap by Plee to help run out the clock. They're going to maybe turn into a third goal. Not, but it's still great job there. And I like that demo at the very end there, taking out the last member of the Gators to prevent any sort of play happening. That was really well executed.
It's important to remember, though, that this is a best-of-3 game that we're going to be watching between the Hammerheads and the Gators. So the Gators have an opportunity to bring this back. Hopefully, we'll see them after they take this minute break, come back swinging and very strong, and allow us to see a Game 3 because that's always what we look forward to here.
And I think the main thing is I'm seeing some nice plays be set up from this team. It's just kind of the consistency or the accuracy of being able to line up your car in midair. Just those fundamental skills that you work on for hours and hours in practice arenas just needs to be tightened up a little bit. And it looks like the Gammerheads are up to a great start in that regard.
Taking 12 seconds to score first goal can be quite telling. However, we've seen it plenty of times in the past where that first goal is basically wiped off the slate as the other team comes back just as hard. We'll have to see if this lead is maintained for the Hammerheads, and it might just be as Jamazon scores yet again. Just seconds after that first one, they are looking for that hat trick right away.
Yeah, the Hammerheads have really kind of been a team that's kind of a conglomerate of very talented individual players. Crayon, certainly a veteran of Esports Tower. Coaches were also talking very highly of Jamazon's ability, and so they think that this new roster, after having had some time to practice together, is really going to be a formidable threat, and it's looking out to turn out that way.
Well, the Gators are definitely not going to go down without a fight. They've been working just as hard, and the coaches say Fiery has stepped up into that in-game lead role and has been doing it time and time again. So long as they continue to work together, create magic moments like that, we could see this easily push into a Game 3.
Yeah, that was a great play that Fiery saw. Wifey also being able to assist off of that. They both were able to get a goal for the Gators, and now it's going to make the Hammerheads lead just a little bit shakier. We're going to see Jamazon push it into the corner as Fiery rotates back.
Does look like we might have some connection issues there for Wifey, but of course, following the Rocket League tradition here with Esports Tower, once that first goal is scored, the game will continue. So hopefully Wifey will be able to reconnect here, and their Wi-Fi starts to work in their favor. They're only down by 2 with just under 3 minutes left. There's plenty of time to bring this back. It does look like Wifey has returned to the field. So that now back at full force and see if the Gators can keep up the momentum that they just gained from that first goal.
Lee is going to be fighting, trying to push it around the Hammerheads, able to play it around one. Now going to be going up against Wifey, a solo dribble, trying to fake him out, and there it is, shootout, one-on-one hockey style, getting the goal.
That was honestly beautiful. Just chipping it off of Wifey, allowing it to bounce around at the perfect angle. You, sir, should become a physics major in the future, please, if you can continue to make plays like that.
Now the Gators have to really try to stage some sort of rally, but Plee again is just going to pile it on, picking up a hat trick for himself.
3 minutes and 24 seconds remain on this clock. The Gators are down by 4 right now. They have the time to bring this back. The rotations are solid. They just need to clean up a couple of things. They have an opportunity right now to get a great clear. They get it past 1. Cran races back, but Plee is just being a defensive wall, stops it in mid-flight. Fiery elevates and gets it past 2. Has to play it around Jamazon to get it in the goal. Some help from Wifey, but Cran will find the clear, bringing it to the midfield.
Now using that wall to help get the clear. They pass over midfield. Rainey trying to stop it, but the onslaught from the Hammerheads is so formidable right now. Wifey is going to get a shot back toward mid-goal using the ceiling. A lot of verticality for the ball. Makes it hard for the Hammerheads to stop it. They're just going to back into it, go reverse. Wifey steals it away from them. This could be the opening for the Gators. Some great interference, though, being run, but they managed to find the goal they were looking for.
We are almost at that halfway mark for Game 2. The Gators currently down by 3. We've seen plenty of goals scored in 2.5 minutes, with Wifey getting a great touch off that kickoff, but Plee just read it perfectly. Fiery stopping it right at that quarter field mark in front of that goal box. Has an opportunity to start turning this around for their team, but Plee comes in again to score another goal.
He was there when you needed him every single step of the way, hanging back to cheat off of that kickoff to seal it away from the Gators, turning it into a goal. Looks like a good kickoff for the Gators. Might try to lead them toward their own goal as Fiery goes to commit for it, but it's up and to the left, so Wifey has to try to do the follow-up. But Jamazon sees the opening toward the goal. Double commit from the Gators in a desperate attempt to try to save it from their open goal.
There was a very heavy overcommit from the Gators there, unfortunately, as well, and Cran was cherry-picking in that back zone, waiting for that toss from Jamazon. They almost find the connection. It took a double commit to stop that goal. Hopefully the Gators don't let that happen again, as Jamazon has the ball again, pushing Wifey around to allow Cran to get a touch on it. It's going to get spiked away, though, because that just little corner area creates some interesting ball momentum. Fleet playing it around 1, but Fiery Mitchell will take it away.
Wifey elevates up, trying to play around Crayon. Was able to keep it over in the corner. Jamazon now looking to try to steal it away from Rainey, unsuccessful in doing so. Now Plee is able to get the clear, but Fiery was waiting right there to keep the side control going for the Gators. They're going to need to turn that into a goal because they only have a minute and a half left to score 4 goals, and it's getting to be more and more of a tall task.
We've seen it done before. It definitely is difficult. However, Fiery Mitchell is not giving up on that chance whatsoever, but Cran, it shuts down Fiery, but in that moment, Rainey comes in clutch to find another goal for the Gators.
And sometimes you got to keep in mind where your positioning will be if you commit toward a demo. If you leave that goal open as a result of that demo, then it is certainly not worth it. Now we have about a minute left, about 20 seconds for each goal the Gators need to score. Not out of the realm of possibility. There's going to be a demo onto the Hammerheads too. Now they fully respawn. Jamazon pushes it up and over. Wifey gets a little bit of a tap on it, looking to pass it, but passing it right over where all the Hammerheads were.
Jamazon's trying to get off the wall to grab that ball, but Fiery gets a great touch on it, spiking it down to Wifey. Cran will elevate though, playing it around one. Now, Plee elevates right above their own goal, taking it away from Rainey. Now it's back at the midfield. Fiery racing back, trying to get this ball away from the Hammerheads as far as possible, as we see Plee come racing in just to get a touch on it to help out his fellow teammates.
Well, I'm seeing a lot more double commits from both teams in this final minute. I don't know if anything's getting to them, but not quite the same polished rotations that we've seen before. Also, I don't know if a back pass is what the Gators want. They committed way too far on that goal and left it wide open, and it seems Crayon's just going to be content to run out the timer.
We're at that 2-second mark now. If the ball hits the ground, that is it, and the Gators will walk away with this. Unfortunately, not winning one of these rounds, but fabulous fight for both sides. The Hammerheads came out swinging from the start, and that new roster definitely seems to be working out for them.
Yeah, a great job for the Hammerheads. Kind of one of those, a new team, kind of reviving an old logo and mascot that we haven't seen in a while. I'm very excited for their future and what they will do as they continue on in the group stage.
I am as well, but before we get to see more of those teams, we're going to jump into a game between the Eagles and the Ghosts. Both of these teams have been at the top of our brackets here, playing against the Barracudas players, and these teams are made up of some of those Barracudas players themselves. Now these two teams have the opportunity to seal who will be coming out on top of this one for tonight.
Well, we're joining in kind of mid-match here for the Eagles. They've already won one of this best of three, so a win here would mean that they won their first game of the group stage. They seem to be well on their way to it, already getting some good side control.
Both teams are looking to be our top seed for the week if they come out on top of this one, so lots of pressure on both sides. My apologies, it's not our fault.
Well, oh wow. Ghosts aren't going to be counted out quite yet. Jababy going to be a star player there, pushing the Ghosts up to 1-0. Oh, but a nice kickoff from Thrift here.
We have Jababy trying to play around. Oh, my apologies.
We have two members?
We have two Jababys on the field. That might get a little confusing, so we're going to... I believe our Bacchus mod might be a little bit messed up. I'm not positive. We'll figure it out here in a moment. But for now, Nano had a great shot over into the corner. Drift Lemming did manage to steal it away just a little bit. It is still right now in front of the Ghost goal, so they're looking for a clear. Baby has it, sends it to a Drift. Between the two of them, get a great clear into the corner. Nano, though, playing like they were a few weeks ago, is all over the place, making sure that that defense is solid.
Okay, so it isn't a mistake in the overlay. There are, in fact, two Jababys.
Why do you do this to us?
I don't. Maybe need to have a stern conversation with the coaches. Like this isn't like, you know. Oh wow, this isn't like, you know, your kindergarten teacher when you were playing superheroes on the playground and just said everyone can be Superman. We need a little bit of differentiation here.
One of these was Baby last week. Let the record show.
I know they're just messing with us at this point. But who isn't messing around is going to be Thrift, able to get the goal and the equalizer for the Eagles. That was a great play from him. He's going to be able to pass it back over. Now Jababy, the blue one, is going to be trying to drive it up the field for the Ghosts to fight back with a pass back over to Dyer toward the goal, but it's just a little bit too slow. Give plenty of time for the Eagles to save.
Nano off that back wall, gets it to Thrift on the other side of the field. It does get stopped, though, by Dyer. Nano trying to drop it down to Jababy for the orange side. Thrift ends up grabbing it, instead playing off the back wall. Unfortunately, will not be able to get the secondary touch, allowing a Drift to get a touch on it, bring it around the corner into the midfield, disrupted by Jababy from the orange. Nano now coming in, oh, that's perfect. No, darn it, I'm so sorry. It was just a little too high. Thrift tried to be the follow-up. It did get a touch on it from one of the Ghosts, so it will be redirected.
That is kind of a warning light, if you will, from the Ghosts of just rotating up too far up the field. Jababy for the Ghosts is going to hang back there, be the goalie. Left tap from the other Jababy back over toward where Nano is, and a tap again. I don't know if that could have been more perfectly redirected.
This is one of those moments where I wish I had like the highlight button so I could just clip that myself and save it, because that was beautiful. In this next kickoff, Jababy for the blue side will get the better of the touch, and it unfortunately will not play in their favor though. Thrift followed it up. It is still going to get spiked off the ceiling, so no one with a clean possession here allows Nano to get a shot into the corner. Jababy for blue will grab it, bring it across the midfield. Now it's a Jababy versus Jababy. Which one will end up with possession? It is going to be orange Jababy who played around Dyer. Now they have to play out their own Jababy brother in front of the goal. Passing it to Thrift, but a Drift will come in and send it to the midfield.
Nano trying to fight with a Drift Lemming here for possession. Jababy goes in the blue one with Dyer following up, but it's not going to turn into a goal. So now the Eagles Drift is going to try to dribble it all up with all three of the Ghosts kind of going around him to corner him in. Now a Drift with possession and a follow-up by Jababy. Dyer, all three of them are able to find an equalizer.
94 seconds left. We're at 2 aside. Plenty of time for either team to start running away with that score. Both sides looking for 1 goal plus 1 security goal to ensure an easy victory and a little bit less stress for this first game. We'll have to see how that shakes out though as we go to that 1 minute 20-second mark.
One thing you're going to want to keep in mind and look at as we head into this final minutes is actually going to be the boost level for the Ghosts, because that's one thing they've been focusing on is boost pad rotations, because they sometimes struggle to keep their boost levels up.
Boost starving has been a trend we've seen reoccurring here for Esports Tower lately. Definitely an old trick, but something that works out very well as we see Thrift score yet another goal, give us a nice little on the top of the hood camera crane shot there. As we go to the next kickoff, Jababy will end up getting the better touch, and Nano will come in trying to steal it away. It's right in front of the Ghost goal. Jababy will manage to clear it away.
Bit of a tap up and off the roof. Jababy continues that air dribble, trying to pass over to Drift. Eagles maintain that slight goal, trying to steal away from Jababy, but Nano's going to be unsuccessful in that, pushing it right in front of their goal. A bit of a risky proposition, but it works out, getting them back to side control. We'll see if they can put that to good use.
Got 25 seconds left on this clock. The Ghosts are looking for 1 more goal to bring us to 3 aside and possibly overtime. Eagles, though, looking for that security goal. Jababy brings it down in the corner, plays it off the corner, and the side wall, has an opportunity to see Nano. They have the ball again. Nano's at the mid. It's great positioning. Nano drops it down. Is there going to be enough time for another shot? There might be, but it might be from the Ghosts, which will be unfortunate for the Eagles. No time left on the clock. Ball hits the ground, and Eagles will walk away with our first round win of that game.
Eagles, we were expecting them to be a top-tier team. Looks like they're going to close out their first round 2-0. So really rolling along here in the group stage.
And we have another exciting match coming up. It's going to be between the Vipers and the ECSS Thunderbirds, a team that we have not seen very much of. We did not see very much of them at all. The Vipers and the players from that team have Rumble experience from the fall. And so it's going to be interesting to see the dichotomy between a team that is used to the Rumble and a team that is brand new to the Rumble as we jump into this next game.
Well, let's head into it. Vipers versus Thunderbirds. It's kind of interesting. ECSS, those kind of outside teams that aren't really part of the Esports Tower ecosystem. We've seen time and time again them kind of be the top tier teams, and I think that's because sometimes these teams, even though they're new to Esports Tower, they are not new to playing as a team. They're usually like 3 friends who have played together for a long time, so that communication between all of them has really been nailed down.
Well, let's hope that comes through for the Thunderbirds. However, the Vipers have the advantage of, being part of an organization with some coaches to help them out. Now is the time for both teams to show us what they've got as we go into this kickoff. This is a best-of-3 game. We'll hopefully be able to see at least 2. As we've got, I think that's Sission, I'm not quite sure, and Sadness, both getting a touch on the ball here in front of the Vipers' goal.
A little bit of a tap around the corner, setting it up for a Thunderbirds goal. Not going to find it. Actually, we're joining them right into the last match of their best of 3. Both of them are tied 1-1, so this is the match point. So very high stakes for both these teams.
Lots of anxiety. Let's hope that does not impact how they play. As we've got Hawk right now with some great possession, a little bit of pressure being put on them from Sadness, forcing them to bring it up behind the back of the goal. Unfortunately, they will lose out their possession. Now, the Thunderbirds looking to start bringing it up towards the midfield, and it's already going to be turned back by Hawk yet again, who's just all over the place, creating a lot of open space for their teammates as Satis tries to crowd the ball off the side wall. Greed will stop that, though, with a little bit of help from their teammates. The Thunderbirds do get it across that midfield stripe.
And actually seeing that gamer tag Sadness, that does remind me we have seen this team before. They were a team that just came in and kind of swept everything last time they were here. So look out for them. They are a very strong force to be reckoned with. Sakone is going to be able to get the clear there, continue to push it up the field, but nice steal away by Z Hydra is going to make it more difficult for them.
The ball is at the midfield, and Greed gets a great shot on goal. It's going to be a little bit too far, and Sadness will send it to Sakone on the side. Z-Hydra comes in. It's a great shot, but that crossbar is just no one's friend. Z-Hydra's there for their own follow-up. It's going to be a little bit too high. Greed gets the secondary shot. The third shot from Hawk is not enough either. A fourth tap from Greed is just a little bit too far to one side. Skyon now has the opportunity to get a great clear, but Hawk comes in again. It stops it from happening before it can even get near that midfield.
Oh, shot there from Greed is going to be the first goal for the Vipers. Really is going to be a great way for them to upset the Thunderbirds, who had such a great performance last time they were in the Rumble.
Either way, regardless of how this game shakes out, both teams are doing a fabulous job, at least in what we're able to see of these games right now. With a little under 3 minutes left on the clock, one goal for the Vipers can easily turn into more, but the Thunderbirds can start turning this around right away. So the Vipers need to make sure they continue to work on that spacing that the coaches have been working with them with over the past few weeks, and make sure they maintain their rotations well.
I don't think spacing's the only problem for the Thunderbirds right now. If you look at the activity feed, it's just been completely one-sided for the Vipers. You see 7 shots on goal compared to just 1 for the Thunderbirds. Now, Sakone, to their credit, has been doing a great job getting 3 clears, and that's just what you need. Just 1 clear can do it, so maybe that's the way forward.
Going into the next kickoff, looks like Greed's going to collide with Sadness, allowing Nonim to get a great touch on it. It's going to be still here at the midfield, though, so Hawk's trying to get possession of it. Tosses it to Greed. It's in the corner. Greed's trying to corral it down. They'll send it back to Hawk, but now Nemon has it, collides with Z-Hydra, so it stalls out just a tiny bit. Hawk with possession, passes it to Greed. It's in the corner. Sadness, so will get better. It will be there before any of the Vipers will. It's right in front of the Thunderbirds' goal, and Z-Hydra will capitalize on that opportunity.
That's just great communication between both of them. It was already a very well-aimed. They tried to aim it in the lower left corner, Z-Hydra, but when it just bounced off the post, the teammates were there. The communication was there, and off of that, Greed is going to get another quick goal off the kickoff.
Greed needs to be careful now when you scored that many goals so fast. It could mean a target is on your back and those demolitions will be coming after you, so it's time to learn how to allay those demos in short time. As we do have Sakone here with a great shot on goal. It's going to be a little bit too high. Hawksetter will stop it, bring it down into the corner where Nimone is waiting out, who centers it up for Sakone, and it's another goal for the Thunderbirds.
Sometimes teams that we see really seem to be very fast in finding those equalizers. Like, it's just something about just getting scored on that really lights a fire under their feet, and they're able to find these goals straight off of the kickoff. So the Thunderbirds still need to get 1 more to equalize. Now 2 more.
Ooh.
As Hawker is going to get a very well-aimed shot there.
95 seconds is plenty of time for 2 goals for the Thunderbirds. However, the Vipers have a great opportunity just to maintain a small lead or to just keep trying to run out the clock here, as they do have 1 goal plus that security goal that everybody needs to make sure they're sitting in a comfortable position.
Sadness waiting back here to see his play, elevating up, gets a nice tap on it. It's going to go off the backboard, setting it up, but it looks like Sakone was a bit too far back on the field to get a shot on goal there. They still try to maintain their side control. Greed is going to push it over for Z-Hydra to get the clear here, but beautiful stop there by the Thunderbirds. They have a minute left. As long as they keep it in the blue side of the field, this 2-goal lead here is really going to work out to their advantage.
Ball gets cleared all the way down to the Thunderbird side of the field where Sadness was waiting, so they definitely made sure they weren't overcommitting on those balls, which is a great sign of some great discipline for the Thunderbirds. Now they have the opportunity to turn this around. We've got Sakone with the ball, plays it around Z-Hydra, can't play it around Hawksetter though, who elevates and stops that ball from going into the goal. We're now almost at that 30-second mark. 2 goals can't be scored, but 1 needs to be scored right now for the Thunderbirds. They have the opportunity off this rebound, but there is just a collision of cars happening in front of the goal.
Now 30 seconds left. It's only about 15 seconds per goal that the Thunderbirds are going to have, and if it's still in their side of the field, is going to be tough. They need to maintain this side control, try to score against the Vipers. Any time that it's in their side of the field is a second that they can't afford. Now they only have 10 left. They have to make it happen here as Noam tries to set it up, tries to push it up toward the goal, but Hawker elevates up quite effortlessly and ends it right there.
Well, you know, Jem, you can going at it alone can only get you so far. If you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills, and we definitely just saw that in that last game. That was absolutely incredible. The Vipers definitely came out swinging from the start, and they are definitely a formidable opponent going forward. You can see how far this team has come since the beginning of this Rumble in particular. Esports Tower really takes time to create well-matched teammates, and I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Jake, and if for any of you who are watching who haven't checked out Esports Tower yet, you definitely should. It's a fast track to help you rank up.
So now that was some great play. I think we're going to see kind of some little areas that are going to really separate some of the lower tier teams from the top tier teams. I think some of that consistency in the passing and just making sure you're a bit more accurate, not whiffing as much, is really going to be what separates the teams that get into the higher seed positions from the lower ones.
So it's that accuracy that's definitely going to come into play ultimately to help you go out on top of these rounds. And that is our round one for week 2 officially in the books. The teams are still battling it out for the opportunity to be in the best position they can for the next week's Cups games. However, we're going to take a quick break before we come back for our round 2 for this week, so make sure you come right back after hopefully grabbing some water and taking care of yourself for a little bit, and come back here in about a minute and a half.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Broadcast to the Esports Tower Rumble. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It is our week 2 of the Winter Rumble, and it's well underway as we just wrapped up round 1. Who will move to the top of the standings as we kick off round 2? Round 2 is going to begin with the Eagles, who are looking to remain undefeated against the Vipers. So it'll be very interesting to see if they can keep up that flow they had in the last games that we got to see and move into round 2 just as strong as they started out. And of course, you know, calling all the action with me is the one and only Jem Jacob Palmer. How do you feel about those last games? We saw quite a few double commits, quite a few triple commits even. Things that we kind of hope to be cleaned up. Do you anticipate seeing more of that in round 2 or a little bit less?
I think that we're going to see some great play and abilities to correct mistakes, because these players have proven time and time again that they can adapt, that they can really have some great gameplay and perform well enough to get some great scholarships, which you have some info for us on.
Yes, those players have been working very hard, and we are going to take a moment and congratulate all of the Esports Tower players who have graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower club members have received $1.2 million in scholarship awards. Let that sink in for a moment. $1.2 million. These students have not only worked hard in their gameplay, but have worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players that receive these scholarships are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we cannot be more excited and proud to see all of the opportunities these players are getting. So congratulations to all of you. You definitely deserve these opportunities you're going to be getting, and please don't change your name, and if you do, let us know if we see you on one of the teams that we'll be seeing possibly in the future at our own games here for the Broncos. As we are going to move into our next round of games here, we do have, of course, a tradition to uphold with Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League, and those are create mistakes, punish those double commits and the triple commits, don't overstay, and bump opponents to disrupt. Doc's keys to the game are presented today by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
You know, Nerdy, I know you say don't change your name. I'll make a possible exception for the two players both named Jababy. We need some differentiation there, maybe.
Just a little.
Just a little. I mean, keep the spirit, but maybe just having a different, you know, like maybe 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Then we can at least tell it.
Or Jababy Jr.
Junior. I would like that. Right now we got Vipers versus Eagles.
Yes, and we're going to jump right into this one. We'll have the opportunity to watch this. All of these matches, all rounds of this best of 3 here between both these teams. Very well-rounded teams. We definitely saw some great performances from both sides in the round 1. Let's see how round 2 shakes out. Possibly see if the Eagles go undefeated will be interesting, as we do see that first goal roll. Jababy, I think, barely got their hood on that one, and so it was credited to them. However, we do know that took a lot of teamwork to accomplish.
It's great teamwork between top-tier teams like the Eagles, but I was really kind of excited when I heard this matchup because the Vipers have a lot of fight in them as well as they're pressuring the Eagles right here, trying to get their own goal. A pass back there. Oh, unfortunately.
Jababy was just a little bit too far behind to stop that one from going in. That was very nice. As we move in now to this next kickoff, Jababy will snag it up to Z-Hydra's touch. Now they're trying to race out one of the Vipers to beat them to that ball. Green will grab it first, though. It's going to go to the corner. Z-Hydra has the opportunity to corral it with a little bit of help from Hawksetter here. It is going to be passed back to Green, but Thrift will jump in that passing lane, stealing it away, where Nano was cherry-picking behind the goalkeeper there. Had an opportunity, but unfortunately the angle is just not right.
Now Rip trying to contest with Greed right now. Nano heads. It's going to go right back off the backcourt. Jababy tries to set it up again. Another shot is going to be deflected off to the right. So nothing there for all the Eagles after. In fact, a huge clear now that they have to defend against. As Greed and Z-Hydra will rotate up the field. It's pushed right off to the corner and then off to the other one.
Yeah.
Double commit there from the Eagles. Definitely what we don't want to see there.
Jababy stops the ball, allowing Thrift to come in. They now have to get it away from Hawksetter, though, who pops it high just to fake them out. But Nano comes in, dropping it down into the corner. Jababy will elevate, as will Nano. A double commit you don't really want to see on either side. When you're on defense or offense, this could be a ball opportunity lost for the Eagles. Thrift trying to maintain a little bit of pressure on Greed. Will force Greed to get rid of the ball. Nano's waiting on the ground as Z-Hydra gets his first touch. Nano, though, able to follow it up. It's at the mid. Greed turns it right back around into the corner. Now Jababy trying to corral it away from the Vipers players.
Trying to get a little bit of a tap on there. There's a demo trying to open things up for the Eagles. Now they've driven it all the way back over to the Vipers' goal. Hawker in the corner. Thrift going to try to stop that clear. Is able to get a nice tap on it. Nano to set it up in the center, but Creed is able to get a little bit of a tap to make things a bit tougher for the Eagles, who are just having a tough time finding this goal.
Thrift did get a shot on goal. It's just a little bit too far. And now it looks like the Eagles have decided to reset. The ball's at the mid. Hawkins better gets the pass to Z-Hydra, who has to play it around Jababy. Passes it back to Hawkins better. It is going to be stopped by Nano at the last second in front of that goal. Jababy has possession here at the mid with Greed coming up behind them. Thrift now with the ball, trying to just bring it into the goal. Will get moved around a little bit too much. Greed sends it to the side, but Jababy's waiting there. Hawk comes in, spikes it up. Greed now has Thrift coming in for that ball. Z-Hydra stops the shot on goal. Z-Hydra now bringing it up the side, has to play it around Jababy and Nano. Nano, that defensive wall force, stops it before it even crosses that three-quarter mark. However, now the Eagles are on their back tires as the Vipers are pushing hard. All 3 members here have committed onto the other side of the field.
Now about less than 2 minutes, and Bit of a deflect there. That happened so quickly. I'm kind of left wondering how that happened, but goal by Jababy, a goal by Thrift puts them into a lead by 1.
Still plenty of time for the Vipers to bring this back and score another goal to tie up this game. This is a best of 3 after all, so all teams are definitely looking to make sure we can come out with the best performance in round 1 as they can. Makes it harder to survive the second game, as we do see Hawk is better get a great clear, but unfortunately Nano will get a touch on it, and it's going to be just right to find another goal.
Now about 1 minute 30 seconds left in this first game of the best of 3. Eagles find themselves with a goal. Unfortunately, a double commit there for the Vipers. So both teams have been guilty of falling victim to that this game.
Double commits are something that's very difficult to avoid. It comes down to being in the mental space of your teammates, and also very good and open communication between everyone. As we see some awkward ping pong action between Jababy and Hawk is better happening. Greed though gets a shot on goal. It is going to be a little bit too high. Now Nano's trying to race for that ball. He's at the midfield area, leaves it for Jababy, but Greed will snag it away because of that slowdown. Thrift trying to turn this ball back around as Greed and Hawk is better. Right in front of the goal, they get a shot in, but it's just going to be a little too wide.
Now Thrift has it wide open to himself. He's going to play off the wall. Great dribble to one. The demo on top of that. Just
back it in! Oh. That was beautiful. That demolition was perfect.
And on top of that, just realizing that it was right behind him, and so just shifting into reverse and casually pushing it into the goal from Jababy. I love that.
We're at the 35-second mark for this round, for this first game of this best of 3 series. The Eagles look like they have run away with the scoreboard just a little bit, but there is an opportunity for the Vipers to bring this back. Now, possibly not in this game, as 20 seconds to score 3 goals is difficult, but in the next one they can come back just as hard as the Eagles started out this round.
Tap there from Jababy over to Z Hydra. Only with 7 seconds left, it's going to be a bit too much for the Vipers to stage any sort of rally here. The Eagles, a bit shaky there for some of that game, but able to end it with a respectable 4-2.
That was a fantastic first game performance from both teams there. The Vipers are currently down by 1, so they got to win this next one in order to bring us to a third game. Though the Eagles definitely looking to close out this series and maintain their undefeated streak. It's ultimately going to come down to these next 5 minutes. However, I feel like the one thing that needs to be cleaned up for both teams is probably those double commits. Do you agree with me or not, Jem?
No, that's the main thing also. And not only those double commits, but some of that mid-air control is actually one of the things that the Eagles had been working on, trying to live up to their team's mascot name, I suppose, and being good in the air. But that's one of the main things that their coaches have been focusing on, is working on their ability to control their cars while in the air. So hopefully we'll see that practice pay off.
As far as the Vipers, the coach has been really focusing on the players resisting the urge to all move to the ball to prevent those double and triple commits that we've seen. So hopefully they'll start getting cleaned up. They did have a short 1-minute opportunity to collect themselves, talk to one another, and see what was going wrong and fix things. But Jababy and Thrift will come out strong, scoring that first goal in under 20 seconds for the Eagles.
Thrift getting a little bit of a tap on that. Jababy to follow up off the kickoff. And if that had been just a little bit of a better shot, that probably would have gone in, as Vipers really committed after that kickoff, left their goal open.
We have Greed and Hawk is better. Now Greed with possession will elevate with the ball, dragging it down right in front of the goal, but Thrift grabs it at the last possible minute as Greed is getting thrown out a little bit. Did see a demolition come out onto one of the Vipers members. It was Hawker is better. They have respawn. Another demolition will come out. Not quite sure on who. I do believe it might have been one of the Eagles this time, as we see all 3 members of the Vipers are here by the goal.
Oh, and what a shot there, threading the needle.
And the perfect timing of your of messaging, Thrift. Congratulations. Your tweet made it in at perfect moments there. Yes, Dorito drop.
Back over to the corner as Greed looks to try to push it back over. Thrift steals it away though, and off the backboard. Once again, almost getting a back-to-back goal there. Actually, almost getting his hat trick. He only needs 1 more. He is on fire so far.
Thrift will elevate with the ball, but Z Hydra was up there with them, making it difficult to get a clean shot in. Greed will come in and prevent another shot on goal from falling in. in favor of the Eagles. Hydra now has to play it around Thrift. They managed to do that. Now they have to play it around Jababy as Thrift is backing up into them, making life a little bit difficult. Nano now has the ball on their side of the field. Greed will get in front of them, stealing it away. They have to play it around Thrift. Thrift will snag it down, drop it to Nano. Thrift elevating with that ball, bringing it across the midfield.
Now trying to make a play again. The Eagles need to defend here, get back to scoring. They would love to have a 3-0 lead and pass it right in front of their goal. Bit of a risky play, but Nano knew what was going on more than I did. Sends Jababy a pass back over to Thrift, who wants to get his hat trick here. Will he be able to do it? Pass it over to Greed, back over to Jababy for the follow-up. It's just a bit too far to the right.
And I do believe a demo just came out onto Thrift, unfortunately, and oh no, it was Jababy, and it opened the goal wide up for the Vipers to capitalize on that. Please stop looking at your phone and focus on playing, Thrift, as we continue forward. Yes, the emotes do not pop up on screen, my friend, but that does not matter. Focus on playing. Thank you for taking my advice. Put the phone down. Put the phone down, Thrift.
Look, I know that this is a very important match, but let me just update my followers on Twitch, because that's what's really important here.
Oh my goodness, that is definitely a skill I do not have. I cannot focus on two things like that at the exact same time, unless it is not an important match like this is, as we have Jababy now corralling this ball here in the corner. They see Thrift. Thrift, unfortunately, will get taken out mid-flight, though, in a ball of flames. Greed now with possession on the side, has very little pressure on them. Thrift comes in with a little help from Jababy to steal it away. It does look like the Vipers are trying to help out their teammates. Hydra will bring it up the wall, has to play it around one. Hawker is better, is there with them, but Thrift just threads the needle, gets in that passing lane almost every time and steals that ball away.
Nano now elevating up off the backboard, but nice from Hydra to knock it over to the corner, prevent the follow-up, but Eagle's going to say, we're going to do another follow-up.
There was a demo on Nano there, and it did not work out in their favor. Thrift is learning and becoming self-aware. Yes, Thrift is learning, and it is a horrifying thing for me to see, but it is very cool as we see Jababy get a sniper shot into the goal. Minute and 44 seconds left, though. The Vipers have plenty of time to bring this one back. 3 goals can be done. We've seen 3 in much less time than this, and Hydra has an opportunity right now. They have to get it away from Nano, but Jababy's right there, so Greek will come in and help them out just a little bit. Hawker waiting at that midfield, has a shot, and plays it around Thrift, and it just gets the right little nudge touch in there to find that second goal for the Vipers. The Vipers still showing plenty of signs of life. Let's see if they can keep this up.
It really has been the last 2. Oh, what a great cheat out there by Thrift off that kickoff. Almost getting the goal, but Hydra stopping him. It really has been the last kind of 2 minutes of this match where all the goals have really been scored here. It's just been an avalanche of goals from both teams. Now that's going to be a great clear around the corner to Thrift to set it up for a teammate. They're not there, though. So that gives Vipers a chance to clear here with a great little tap by Hydra.
Oh, but Nano will beat any of the Vipers to that ball. Greed waiting at the midfield, has to play it over them. Hawker is better, though, was waiting behind, read that well, keeps it alive here at the mid. Hydra has an opportunity to find a teammate for a pass, gets it away from Thrift, who was trying to slow down a little bit with that ball. Jababy will come back in and try to get possession for the Eagles. Greed now has to play it around Thrift. Thrift backs up into that ball to try to steal it away. Hawker is better, tries to maintain possession, but Nano has it now here at the side.
It's actually one of the members of the Eagles just kind of flew over so they could rotate. A shot on goal from the Vipers is going to be saved, and now that's a great tap by Thrift high up in the air with 30 seconds left. I think that's kind of it. I don't think the Vipers can really score that much in just now 20 seconds. So now probably plenty of time for the Eagles now to tweet and chat all they want from Twitch.
Hydra, though, will get the ball stolen away here by Jababy. It's going to be spiked up to Thrift. It is still on the Viper side of the field. We are down to that 5-second mark. If the Vipers want to just score another goal to make sure that that gap is just a little bit smaller, this ball cannot touch the ground. Nano, though, is trying to score another goal for the Eagles. A little help from Jababy, and they'll do that with no time left on the clock, and that will close out that second game. The Eagles will walk away with another victory and a untarnished, undefeated record.
One of the interesting things we were hearing about the Eagles, one thing they were looking for is trying to keep their morale up through the game. I think they've done plenty to do that there. I don't think they need any help in that regard.
I can't argue with you on that one. And now we're actually going to see another game with the Eagles. Let's see if they can keep up their mental prowess in this next one, because they're going to be going up against the Thunderbirds, a team that was a formidable opponent in the past. Definitely came out a little shaky in the beginning of round one, but they've had an opportunity to talk with one another, probably stayed a little bit more warmed up, and we'll be jumping into this next game between them here momentarily.
Yeah, another match of two teams that are near the top kind of bracket, if you were, or top standings amongst all of their peers. Should be very exciting to see.
So let's jump into this last of our round 2 series with the Ghosts taking on the Thunderbirds. The Ghosts took an early loss against the Eagles. They're looking to get back on top of the standings with this win, but they can't overlook the talent of the Thunderbirds, because as I mentioned, the Thunderbirds previously have come in and been just a dominating force here in the Esports Tower Rumble. However, our Esports Tower teams have had a lot of time to practice, and they definitely have looked over those VODs of the Thunderbirds. So let's see if they can pull out the win against the Thunderbirds. So Ghosts, Thunderbirds, good luck to both of you as we hop into this last game of the night.
Ooh, just a very nice clear there by save there by Sakone, and another one there by Sadness. The Ghosts are really piling on some very fast, hard to defend shots on goal, but the Thunderbirds have found a way to keep their goal clear and are now going to try to do some offense themselves.
This is game 2 of a best of 3, so if the Ghosts come out on top of this one, they will walk away beating the Thunderbirds and come out on top and be in a better position for next week's Cup games. But they're definitely up against a strong opponent in the form of the Thunderbirds. They've definitely been able to stop a lot of those goals from rolling in. However, the pace of this game is definitely much faster than we've seen at anything thus far this evening.
Sadness now is going to ground it, but there's no one else around it except the Ghosts, so they're going to get control of the ball handily here. Now doing some air dribbling, is going to leave it down for a teammate, but ran into a Thunderbird instead, who stole the ball for themselves. Now Sakone is trying to center it. Dyer going to get a little bit of a tap on it, as well as another Ghost there, so want to try to watch out for those double commits.
Jababy plays it around 2, just inching the ball a little bit at a time, making sure they maintain control of it, and the pace. Slowing down can do a lot, especially when the speed of the game is going as this one is. It throws off the momentum and just everyone's mental mindsets for a little bit. As Drift Lemming elevates, does some fantastic aerial play there, corrals it down, but unfortunately Sadness will get a touch on it before any of Drift's teammates can help them out.
Jababy pushing it toward the goal. It goes right off and to the left. Sadness looking to corral the ball up the field, plays it above Jababy, who does get a tap on it, sends the ball up very high for a Drift to pick up the pieces. A double commit there by the Thunderbirds could leave them in a shaky situation. They're all around the ball there.
And that a demolition might open up an opportunity for Dyer to score something here. It will not, though, as the respawn has happened, but there's another demolition that's come out. Jababy with the ball at the mid, drags it down. It will get a little bit of help from the Drift Lemming. Neon tries to get possession here, has to play it around a Drift Lemming and Jababy, though. That's a difficult task, so Sakone comes in to help them out. It gets spiked high. Drift Lemming can't get a touch on it. Dyer's the only one in front of the goal, but the Drift gets the clear.
Now here goes Dyer. Oh, Dyer waiting actually for the play, as it's going to be a Drift Lemming up the field trying to get a tap on the ball. Now Dyer with the pass over to Jababy, but 50-50 instead goes in favor of the Thunderbirds. So that is a great kind of interception from them to clear it back and over. But a Drift is going to try to stop shot on goal, but it doesn't work. Sakone getting the first goal.
That took over half of this second game to find a goal for either side. I think that's the longest we've waited for one this evening. But if the trends continue, that means we could see just a waterfall of goals cascading in for either side now that the dam has been broken. We've got Sadness with the ball in the corner here, who will lose possession just because the ball went a little bit too high. Dyer now looking to corral it down, has to play it around Sakone. Jababy comes in to help them out, plays it around 1, but has to play it around Sadness. They get a Drift Lemming's help, is going to play it off the wall, possibly center it up for a teammate, drops it down in front of the goal, but Sakone reads it well and sends it to the side.
Noem pushing it up the field over where Sakone is. Pass back over is going to be intercepted by a Drift. It's going to get some, oh, look at that bumping though there from Sadness. Try to stop both two members of the Ghosts. It looks like we're actually pushing into their own goal there. They still managed to get the clear, but I like the disruption from the Thunderbirds.
We've got 90 seconds left for the Ghost to find that equalizer goal and for the Thunderbirds to find a security goal and sit pretty for the remainder of this round and drag us into our first match 3 of the evening, which honestly is what I'm hoping for. Nothing against you, Ghost, but I really like to see those game 3s because it's when there is no holds bars, every man for themselves. Teams work at their best and hardest under so much pressure. I know it can be anxiety-inducing, but it brings out your best performances. We do see a Drift drag the ball down, has played around Sakone, but Nominum comes in to help out and spikes the ball away.
Jababy, oh, look at that.
Dyer!
Some great dribbling to set it up for Dyer pays off.
Did you see it bounce off of one of the Thunderbirds players too? They
It
tried.
probably did. They all bunched up around the ball, and when you kind of do that, you can kind of risk some of those awkward angles emerging. Ooh, Dyer setting it up beautifully here. Ooh, follow up there, just not forceful enough. It's very competitive, though. Less than a minute, tied 1-1.
The Ghosts have been putting a lot of emphasis on practice lately with their playing as a team over the individual skill, and it's really been working out. It's definitely shining through tonight because the ECSS is a team full of a lot of individual talent, but ultimately in a team game, you really need that teamwork to come out on top, and it is paying off right now, but we've got 20 seconds left. Both teams looking for one goal to prevent this from going into overtime, but we might just see that as it's been so equally balanced between the two thus far.
Now about 10 seconds left. Sakone there trying to make the shot there, but Dyer runs right into the back to disrupt it, and now has a little bit of time to pass it over to Adrift, but Adrift isn't able to follow up. They need to keep it up in the air or get the goal right now. Tough to connect there from the Thunderbird. Are they able to keep it going? They are. They're trying to push it with the goal. Just not quite able to do it.
Low-key, I would have been fine with a buzzer beater because those are always really awesome, but I love overtime. Please just don't let this be a 7.5-minute long overtime again, or we will lose our voices. But if you manage to keep it alive that long, congratulations. You might break another record here for Esports Tower. As we do see a great shot on goal from Dyer, but Sakone came in at the last second, grabbing it. All 3 members of the Thunderbirds playing very defensively. Never mind,
Yeah.
Sakone's being a little aggressive, but they're definitely playing a little more apprehensive than we saw earlier in the game.
Well, the other 2 members were just waiting in the goal.
I mean, you don't want to leave an easy goal, but it's not. You don't exactly want to have a thrift the mom call out. It happens. It's okay. My parents watched my games too. It does happen, but you need to have faith in your teammates and know your rotations and trust one another enough to, move out of that goal positioning. Otherwise, it's going to make it a lot easier for the Ghosts to just capitalize on that whole field.
There goes Adrift, kind of a shot there to set it up. Oh, they just weren't set up right on the field. They were trying to turn around to get a shot, and it's just way too much time.
The ball is at the midfield. Dyer's trying to stop it from crossing it whatsoever. Sadness, though, returns the volley. Adrift Lemming comes in that passing lane, gets the ball off the rebound. That was a little too high for the shot on goal, unfortunately. Now trying to corral the ball down is Jababy. It's now back on the side of the Ghost. Adrift Lemming brings it up above the goal. Not a situation you really want to be in when all 3 members of the Thunderbirds are so heavily committed on this forward push into the goal area. This could be an opportunity for the Ghost, though, to grab it off a rebound and send it right back. Sadness will stop it at the mid. Adrift Lemming, though, will steal it away from them, forcing Nonim to elevate over them. Jababy, though, gets a great shot in onto the goal.
And there's a demo to try to clear things up for the Ghosts with the pass over to Dyer. It just goes off of the backboard. Sakone rotates in to barely get a clear there. Now they're trying to go fast because the goal has been left wide open for the Ghosts. Now it looks like they had just enough time to rotate in and get a clear back toward the Thunderbirds.
Ironically enough, the blue team's the team that's got to go fast. I see how it is, Jem.
Oh man, I'm honestly surprised we made it this long in Esports Tower without making a reference like that. So
It's okay.
Congratulations, and the streak is broken. So thank you for simultaneously crushing my soul at the same time.
I'm sorry,
But the soul
I'm
that isn't
not
going to be
sorry.
crushed is going to be Dyer, who gets a great goal there, kind of a backflip, is able to get the Ghosts to a 2-0 lead. So
And
great job for them.
Thank you for saving our voices, Dyer. We greatly appreciate it. Well, if you want to be seen by some expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to and industry insights with our featured rumbles such as these. Recruiters are taking notice of these events as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land one of those, $1.2 million portions of scholarships that we saw earlier this evening. Honestly, fabulous game across the board. All teams did great this evening, but my goodness, that last game was incredible.
Yeah, it was a really great job by the Ghosts. They're kind of one of those teams that have really been fighting to try to make their way up kind of the tier and ranking list. And with a performance like that against the Thunderbirds, which we were expecting going into this night would be a top-tier team, I really don't want to count them out. It's going to be very interesting to see what cup they manage to get in at the end of this group stage.
Yes, so of course, if you want to definitely see how that shakes out, you'll have to join us here next week at 4 p.m. Mountain Time to watch the remainder of that. But we are going to take a short break, and you can come right back here to watch some more Rocket League action.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Round 3 of our Week 2 of the Esports Tower Winter Rumble is upon us. A final chance for the teams to pick up a win before next week's Cup games. So far, the Eagles are undefeated, so who can start closing that gap and ascending the mountain up to that peak to face them in our final games next week? Well, Greg, what do you think?
I'm just looking forward to some good games. We've had some really good ones leading up into this, and I'm ready to see it keep moving.
We've had a slight roster change here on stage. It is still me, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, calling all the action, but my co-host has changed, and it is Greg Old Soul Smith, and I'm very excited to be working with you for the first time tonight. And, I mean, those first games were pretty exciting, but I know you just want some good Rocket League, but what are you looking for in particular in these games?
Really ball to car ratio to be 1 and 1 only at all times. I see a lot of crowding the ball earlier. People get intense, especially in those overtime scenarios, looking for the golden goal, and everybody races the ball. They want to be the one, that gets the highlight. Just know the win con and back up a little bit.
Well, there you go. There's your tips from Greg Old Soul Smith. However, we've got some other tips that might be a little bit more quintessential, and those are Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League. They are create mistakes, punish the double commits, don't overstay, and bump opponents to disrupt. Doc's keys to the game are presented today by esportstower.com. Score Pro advice at Esports Tower, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. We're about to jump into a very exciting match between the Mammoths and the Esports Tower Ghosts. This is our first premier match of the night, with the Vandergrift Vipers taking on the... My apologies, something a little wonky just happened, but it's the Mammoths and the Ghosts, and this will be a very exciting match for sure. We do have Dyer with possession of the ball, doing some great aerial play. The Eagles have been working very hard on the aerial play, as we mentioned in our last game, with the Drift getting a shot on goal. Fortunately, Not Earth will not be able to stop it. Little help from Lennox. They'll be able to corral it here. Not Earth now bring it across the side. Has to play it around Dyer, and Jababy is going to be waiting for them on the ground. Unfortunately for the Ghost, they're racing back and won't be able to beat Not Earth to that goal.
Not Earth was able to glide that one straight in. I'm surprised we didn't get more back post support on that one.
There was just a slight overcommit there from the Ghosts. I feel like they were not ready for Not Earth to have such great aerial plays. We see a bit of a car pileup happening there. Now the ball is right in front of the goal, off the side, and a Drift Lemming will find a second goal. I think that was incredibly fast for both sides. Now we're tied one aside. It's back to 0-0, but Dyer will come in off that third kickoff, get possession first, but they'll lose it out to Endercrafter.
Yeah, we do like those quick equalizers. A lot of 50-50 pile-up right there, but we're seeing the ball make some actual move back and forth across the field here as the Orange is able to protect it out. Baby trying to send it back into the blue side. It's caught up in the corner. They're leading in. It was an excellent setup. That's another goal, putting the Ghosts ahead by 1.
The Drift has come in with their second goal, trying to get that hat trick early on yet again. Let's see if they'll manage to do that, or if the Ghosts will, or if the Mammoths will put a stop to it. The Mammoths definitely are a team that has been practicing quite a bit on making better decisions and thinking about where they're hitting the ball rather than just hitting it. And that's definitely going to come into play here. And it's already shown a little bit with Not Earth coming out very strong with that first goal.
Yeah, you can't just have your a good amount of shots on goal and think they're going to magically fall in. There's a bit of precision to it as well. I mean, we've seen some good trick shots earlier today, too.
We've got Dyer now in possession of that ball on the side, but Not Earth comes in, forcing them to get rid of it. Baby gets a little bit of a slight touch. We've got a little bit of a spacing issue happening here for the Mammoths, as though two of them ram into one another. The ball's here on the corner. Endercrafter with a little bit of help from Lennox will be able to maintain some possession for the Mammoths, but now Drift Lemming has possession, and they're about to start running away with that ball as it crosses that midfield stripe.
Ooh, wandering away indeed. Gababy steps up to send it over there, but defense is on point, and it starts sending it back to the halfway. A nice demo to clean the field up a little bit. We like to see that. Gababy keep taking the ball airborne, but Fleming is able to take it. Oh, so
Dyer!
close, and a good setup, but Drift Fleming is just a little bit too low, and it goes up to the upper board.
Now we've got Lennox with possession, bringing it into a great centering opportunity for a little bit of help from Not Earth. They'll pop it high, but now we've got all 6 members, so 3 for both teams, kind of bunched up. The ball's going to roll all the way back towards the other side of the field, where Dyer will score the second goal for the Ghosts. That is punishing that overcommit for sure. You've got to make sure you're communicating who's staying back.
Yep, Doc would be proud. That one's one to keep for sure.
Doc is very proud of that play. Well, let's see if we can see more of those, but I'm hoping we don't, honestly. I don't like to see punishing overcommit because I don't want to see teams overcommitting to begin with, as we have Baby with the opportunity to corral this ball with a little bit of help from Drift Lemming. It's at the midfield, but Not Earth will stop it to a wide open goal. It will go, finding another goal for the Mammoths.
Oh, what a beautiful steal right there. People were just not ready for that one. Hit an excellent top corner. 50-50 goes off the side, and there's another 50-50 race for it, coming back to the middle, so we have another. Finally, the kickoff is over, and it's in the Orange possession on the blue side. Gababy looking to line it up kind of midfield for a shot, but goes back to the other corner. It's a race to the ball. Orange comes out with it, but a little bit of a back pass. Trying to get that midfield lineup again. It goes a little bit long. Back post is able to protect that. Sending it back over, trying to clear it out of there, and it happens towards an open goal. 2 on the defense for it. Rejects it.
Dyer will send that volley back with the Drift Lemming now trying to steal it away from Lennox here, but unfortunately they'll need help from Dyer, and they will lose out possession to Baby here all the way in the corner on their side of the field. Has to get the possession away from the Mammoths here if they want to get it clear. A Drift will slow it down just a little bit, but Lennox gets an opportunity to send it right back in front of the goal, and with a little help from Endercrafter, they will find a goal. And I have just possibly been informed that this might not be the real Jababy, so keep that in mind. And if the real Jababy is in our Twitch chat, please drop it and let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We got to find the imposter here.
Something's a little sus. It's okay. It happens. Now we've got Not Earth challenging Dyer for that ball possession. Endercrafter comes in to help them out. Now they played it around one perfectly, and with some great geometry happening in front of the goal, we will find another one. I'm the real Jababy. Does that mean that? All right. So
Boise State wants to let you know that Dr. Haskell is actually Jababy.
All right, Boise State. I see how it is.
I thought he graduated
You know, it's okay.
several times.
It's okay to graduate several times. It's okay to be a super senior. This is college. We've got Jababy colliding with Not Earth there with a little help from Lennox. It looks like the Mammoths will get possession briefly, but not enough as the Drift Lemming comes in, snipes the ball towards the goal, tries to play their own rebound. Dyer tries to help them out as well, but a little slight overdrive will force the ball onto the side of the Ghost, onto the half of the Ghost field. Now Drift Lemming off a demolition will be able to get a great shot into the goal, but it will be stopped by Endercrafter in mid-flight.
A little bit close. An excellent chip, though, trying to get that equalizer, and he goes in for another one, but it's just not quite there, and they're able to push it in. Love that follow-up, having that second man be ready for it, not trying to commit in the corners. How you get those goals.
Got 39 seconds left right now. Tied 4-side. This is already our highest score. Oh, the real Jababy was the friends we made along the way.
I love that.
All right. We can get sentimental. It's fine.
Ooh, look at that save.
And look at...
Did get right out.
Did you see that aggression from a Drift Lemming there? Just pushing into Endercrafter.
Goodness, we love that.
This is some great Rocket League happening right now between the Ghosts and Mammoths. Hopefully they can keep this up. We are tied 4-side. This is a best of 3, but they've got 13 seconds for one team to find that extra goal. Will we see a buzzer beater, or are we going to see some anxiety-inducing overtime as we tick down to that 5-second mark?
Anxiety-inducing has already began. Sometimes when we get to 10 seconds, I feel like the overtime has already begun. Here it is, though, to actually begin.
All right, this is golden goal territory. I never liked golden goal in real soccer, so in Rocket League, it's just as hard. We are all Jababy. All right, Thrift, thank you for that one. None of you are truly helping me out tonight. I see how it is. It's fine. We've got a Jababy with possession, but there will be a demolition right in front of them. The camera will shift just a little bit. Jababy had possession a little longer, but Not Earth stole it away, passing the ball over to Lennox. It does look like a Drift Lemming tried to get a little touch on that ball. They do get a pass from Jababy. Now the Mammoths have rotated back towards their goal. Not Earth has possession. Plays it around Jababy. Has to play it around one more, though. Dyer will be on the ground and stack that ball away. A Drift will pop it up, try to play it around one and center it up for Dyer. Dyer, though, will send it right back to them. The angle is just not right. Now Not Earth gets a great clear down into the corner on the Ghost side of the field, but the Ghost will beat out the Mammoths to that ball as Not Earth tries to get his follow-up touch. They just barely overdrive.
Ooh, a little bit of rotation collision there as Not Earth tries to flip right over Lennox. Not sure if they're able to get a goal with that kind of lineup. Jababy takes it back to the right side of the field. They're ready on the defense zone. They're able to clear it straight down with almost no one in the way. I take it back because Dyer was ready for it. Sends it right into the upper post. A Drift Lemming, excellent on that. Forefront defense is able to pop it right into a goal that they just ran away from.
And a Drift will find that golden goal and close out our overtime. Always very anxiety-inducing, as I mentioned, but congratulations, both teams performed very well. That was our highest scoring game of thus far this evening, and I'm hoping to see more games like that because we're about to go into a game between the Hammerheads and the Eagles, and these are two of our stacked rosters for tonight. And it's definitely guaranteed that one of these teams will end up in the Octane Cup next week based off of how this game turns out. So there's a lot of pressure. Sorry to be saying that out loud to you guys because I know you hear me, but try to ignore me saying that.
No pressure, just golden goals and lots of overtime. And one of you is going to the Octane, and maybe somebody doesn't. On the kickoff, we see 2 50-50s, but it ends up going into the orange side. Lennox trying to dig it out of there, but... Ooh, and it looks like a little bit of a back pass. Drift Lemming's able to take control, starts going for the goal. The setup's not quite there, though. It's foiled by one of the blue side. Ooh, and Not Earth is able to clear it right back over.
My apologies, I did misspeak earlier. This is still the Mammoths and the Ghosts because it is a best of 3. We'll be able to watch all 3 games. If we do see all 3, that does mean the Mammoths need to come out on top of this one. They're playing pretty equally up against the Ghosts, but we do see an unfortunate demolition right there against Endercrafter. I'm hoping to see this go into a game 3, but Dyer and a Drift Lemming might have something else to say about that. We'll have to see. Only these next 4 minutes and 15 seconds will tell.
A Drift Lemming looking to take it back. Ooh, a nice demo and a little bit of a back pass. Baby trying to send it straight towards, not quite there. Maybe that was a setup, but it was tipped out of the way. Ooh, a great save there by Lennox, right forefront of the ball, but I did see 3 people standing in front of the goal there.
It's those triple commits that could turn into goal-scoring opportunities for the other team. Not something you want to see. That's communication breakdown and rotation breakdown still happening right now for the Mammoths, and the Ghosts will capitalize on that, allowing Dyer to score their first goal of this round.
Lennox had a great save there, but the follow-up was too on point. Having that second man is huge.
Drift actually has been working really hard on positioning and rotations in practice, and this was an area that they felt they were weak in, and it's definitely coming out in spades right now. They're doing a fantastic job so far. We still have plenty of time left in this game too, though. We'll see if the Mammoths can come back swinging.
Ooh, Dyer playing a little bit dangerous there, but we have a save for the ball and start sending it back to the other side. Drift Fleming going back for a little bit of boost to be the support side, getting ready, and steals it straight from Lennox, extending it towards the goal, but there was not really a backup ready for it. Flirting right in front of the goal, just passing back and forth.
The Ghosts have actually been focusing a lot on that boost rotation so they could save some time that they've been struggling with, keeping their boost levels up and prevent that from happening altogether. That also can result in some boosts starving for the Mammoths, so the Mammoths need to watch out, or otherwise they might run low on resources if the Ghosts are rotating well to those boost pads. So we do have a Drift Fleming dragging the ball down in front of the Mammoths goal. It will get cleared by Endercrafter, but Dyer's waiting in the corner. We see an unfortunate demolition come out onto someone there on the side. Right now, it does not look like the Mammoths are down one. It could have been possibly one of the Ghost members. You see a shot just a little bit too far to the right of the goal coming out from Not Earth right there. As Endercrafter is getting booped around by Dyer, forcing them to lose out their dribbles. We have a 2-on-2 double commit happening. Jababy and Lennox will also collide, but that beautiful shot on goal will find its way into the back of the net.
Despite them having a double commit, they were able to come out on top for the 50-50 and take the double commit advantage. Well played.
That just seemed like an oxymoron.
It happens.
It's okay. My brain's just not functioning after watching that. It happens as we do see a Drift Lemming get an opportunity to clear the ball, and Not Earth stops it at the midfield. Dyer will elevate, play it around Not Earth, has to play it around Lennox though, and Lennox will prevent that from happening. The volley is returned by a Drift Lemming going straight towards that goal. It's a little bit too far. Drift tries to play their own rebound, but Endercrafter jumps in, sending it back towards the corner on the Ghost side of the field.
Well, I don't think we're seeing the same high point round that we saw last time. We're down to halfway through. Oh, I almost thought that I spoke too soon. That was a close one, but Endercrafter was able to take it back. Still bouncing back and forth, keeping it kind of in the corner here. Not Earth able to go up for the elevation, but it's stolen from him, sent towards the goal with 1 and 2. It's a little bit low in the momentum there, so Not Earth's able to take it right underneath. Starts heading for the goal, but it's chipped above him. A Drift Lemming ready to accept it on the other side. Send it straight through Lennox. Not quite, though. Goes off to the side. Endercrafter coming in to take it back. It's being dug out by all three of the Ghosts. A little bit scary there on the semi-triple commit.
Does look like the Ghosts need to start spreading out a little bit, or the Mammoths will capitalize on the lack of space that the Ghosts have, and they already did as Endercrafter scores the second goal for the Mammoths. We've now got 1 minute and 15 seconds left for the Ghosts to find the equalizer, for the Mammoths to find a security goal for themselves. Endercrafter tries to steal the ball away, and as I'm talking about that, Dyer just decides, hey, I'm going to make sure that we do have an equalizer. So don't worry about that comment, Nerdy, as we go into this next kickoff. No one really has a clean possession, but it does look like Dyer is going to be the one to come in and help out Jababy as Drift Lemming tries to get a shot on goal.
Oh, a demo right in the goal, and it was almost a perfect setup, but it was a little bit wide there, so the possession goes back to Lennox holding the ball. Oh, goes for maybe a small shot, but it doesn't happen. All three take a touch on the ball to prevent it. Nobody gets the save as it goes up into the corner. Endercrafter flying over Lennox to try to take it back, ends up becoming the backup man as we are playing on the blue side of the field now. A Drift Lemming looking to keep it there. Doesn't quite happen though, it's chipped over him. He's looking to defend. Keeps it at the half with no momentum, so Lennox is able to fling it straight over. Not Earth going to guide it in. Lennox trying to smooth it over. And there it is, the follow-up from the third player.
A Drift, I don't know if you noticed, but a Drift Lemming had no boost for like the last 15 seconds there, and that made it very difficult for them to play defensively. They were getting boost starved themselves. Endercrafter snipes that corner boost pad quite often, making it hard, but as I'm talking about it, Dyer, once again, is just trying to make me eat my words. We've got another equalizer with 18 seconds left on the clock. Is it going to be a buzzer beater, or is it going to be overtime?
Unbelievable. I did not think that the pace they'd been playing the pace they've been playing, yeah, okay, got me stopped there for a second, was going to let them equalize that quickly, but I can't believe we're looking at maybe another overtime with only 5 seconds left on the clock. Trying to keep it airborne, both sides are. Really low to the ground here. Early demos, quite a few. Man, maybe just a little aggression on top just to let them know what kind of overtime they're moving into. Let's see it.
We might see a lot of explosions as we go into that kickoff. It's going to be a better touch out from the Ghost, and Jababy will be there to keep the possession alive for a little bit longer, but Endercrafter spiked it high. A Drift Lemming will collide with Lennox, so the ball dies a little bit. Dyer tries to get a shot on goal, but can't quite find it. Now Not Earth going forward towards that goal, has to play it around too, but Jababy will clear it to the side.
Some great setups here, looking to bounce back in on the goal. Plays, and that's a demo, clearing up the field a little bit. Can they take
is that it?
advantage of
Is that it? That is it.
Goal.
That was a beautiful overtime goal, our second one of this evening. I hope to see more. I know some of the Esports Tower players might be a little bit angry for me for saying that. I'm sorry, guys. If you're angry, go ahead and tell me in the chat. I'll see it on screen. It's fine. I'll take the aggression. And we're going to jump into our next game, which is between two of our very hard-hitting teams of the Eagles and the Hammerheads. The Eagles are looking to go undefeated tonight in the group stage this week, and that will guarantee them a spot in the Octane Cup. And the Hammerheads are looking to end out the night with a win, which will be a huge confidence boost as they move into the games next week. All right, so we go into this kickoff. It looks like the Eagles got the better touch off that one. Jababy here in the corner. It is Thrift, that's not helping me determine who is the real Jababy here.
Or whether or not you're going to give us more concise overtimes and epic golden goals. Really, those are all we requested.
As I mentioned, a win will guarantee the Eagles a spot in the Octane Cup and a chance to be the top team in the Rumble, something they have been inching closer to in the past Rumbles but haven't been quite able to obtain, whereas the Hammerheads hope to build momentum into the next week's Cup games. This is a new team with more coaching and more practice will make them just stronger, but they're already proving a great performance so far this evening, and more, we are all Jababy. I am not Jababy, I can tell you that so far.
He's got the first point. Moving in after the kickoff, it's in the orange possession. The Eagles trying to get that point equalized. It didn't happen as fast as we've seen him do it before, though. Riff looking to send it back to Nano. Pops it up, looking for the setup on a good goal. It might be here, and there it is. Moved in by the third person. Another great team ball.
That was
to a 1-1.
That was a very interesting play right there from the Eagles. I want to see more of that, but it was a slight overcommit. If you notice, all three of them were right in front of that goal.
They were really committing to it, but it's good to know that the comms are hot and that people are communicating about a goal like that, because I don't think that's going to happen any other way.
You know? Oh.
Not quite.
And see, all three members were there, but the rotations have come out. Thrift has gone back, as well as Jababy. Now we've got Racer with a great shot on goal, but Thrift is going to read it just because it wasn't quite fast enough. Now we've got Jamazon and Cran trying to crowd this ball away from Jababy, but Jababy has no pressure on them now. Cran comes in, plays it off the wall, grabs that boost, is stolen away before Cran can grab that boost as well, making it harder. Racer with possession now, trying to bring it up the side. They're now on the Eagle side of the field, but Thrift is maintaining possession right in front of their own goal. A little bit of a risky play there.
Ooh, yeah, Thrift had some good bumps traveling it back and was able to keep possession for a little bit, but now they're kind of in the mouth of the goal, and Cran's trying to keep it there. Looking to waterfall it down and set it up for somebody. It's able to tip in by Racer, but it's so close, not quite there. Possession goes back to the orange and back to the blue. People are really fighting over the ball right here, and the setup for rotation is not quite as where I'd want it to be. Including that double commit where you have two cars facing each other. Jababy looking to carry it back over, but it's stolen right out from underneath him, and a good shot on goal, but Thrift is able to hit it back. Jababy, apparently everyone in the room except for Nerdy.
Yes, I am not Jababy. I can promise you that. I don't even play Rocket League as well as you guys do, so that's how I know I'm not Jababy. As we do have some great play there from Jababy. Unfortunately, they will lose out possession as there was a double commit coming off from the Hammerheads to force that ball away from Jababy's possession. Nano playing it off the wall, dropped down onto Jamazon, but the Racer was right behind them. He'll elevate, get possession of that ball. It drops down onto Thrift's hood, though. Thrift backing up, trying to see if they can take it away from Jamazon. A little bit of help from Cran here might maintain possession for the Hammerheads. It will not, because Thrift will corral it first, dragging it down to the ground. Plays it to Nano, who has an opportunity to get a shot on goal, but they're trying to pass it back to Thrift first because they have quite a bit of pressure on them.
It feels like the ball is losing a lot of momentum here. People are not afraid to play slow or to reverse it entirely. Ooh, almost a nice goal there. We had two in the goal, though, to keep it from really falling in. Griff getting ready for the play here. Cran's able to bat it back down, and again, the ball's moving nice and slow, so we have almost a 50-50 for it, but Thrift takes it, getting ready to prep up for a shot. Maybe a little Hail Mary there, trying to bump it a little bit more, but it's stolen out from underneath him and goes back up to the corner. Free game for either team. Oh, no.
Oh, that's rolling in. Oh, Racer, that was a risky play. It worked out in your favor. Now it looks like the Hammerheads might be able to turn this around, as we've got 100 seconds left in this game 2 here. Hammerheads looking for a win to force us into a game 3, and they might just do that as they score their second goal in this round. This could be this cascade into a bunch of goals for both teams, or it could just remain at 2-1 for the remainder of this 1 minute and 34 seconds.
We'll see. It was a fair kickoff, so no clean equalizer there. Got another race coming in here. Cran's able to kick it back. A steal out of midair, but not into a beautiful position. It goes up for a chip, but it doesn't quite get there before defense does. A nice demo clear in the field a little bit, going in to capitalize on that. Doesn't quite happen, and the rebound is not really set up, so. Oh, it rolled straight in.
And now we are back to the two-a-side, and we're going to possibly see another overtime. We'll have 1 minute and 9 seconds is plenty of time for both teams to score goals. We could see one for each side yet again as Jamison gets the better kickoff there. Baby tried to read it and corral it down, but Jamison just beating him to the ball. There's a shot on goal there from Koran, but that crossbar is just no one's friend.
Yep, it's anyone's game right now, looking 2-2 with a minute to prove it, just like you said.
Jababy centers it up for Thrift. Thrift plays it around one, but cannot play it around the second one. It gets spiked high, and Thrift has not lost possession just yet. Gets a nice little chip over to Nano, but Kran will get possession of it. Now Nano's just trying to drive Kran away from the ball. That is the booping to disrupt that we saw in Doc's keys to the game. Jababy now with possession, tries to get it away from Kran. Kran traps it against the wall, but cannot stop the Eagles from coming back and taking possession for a few short seconds. Kran trying to maintain it, but it's still over here on their side of the field. The Hammerheads trying to look for a clear.
Goodness, Kran is really trying to protect it there. It really is Kran against the world as they keep pushing it back into the ball, and he has to try to send it back out just like that. Looking for the clear, but it just doesn't quite happen. Finally, falling onto the orange side, Eagles looking to steal it back from, send it towards an open playing field. They're already set up for it, and it looks like we might be going into overtime unless we can get a buzzer beater right here. 2 seconds left on the clock. Gababy, an excellent play right in.
And Gababy is life, according to one of our Esports Tower players who just decided to drop that in chat. If that is the life you want to live, my friend, go for it. That's not mine, as we do have no time left on the clock. And the Eagles are just... What? That was insane. It's 2 goals back-to-back in like 5 seconds. 1 in no time left on the clock. That is a little bit of showing off.
Yeah, a little bit of showing off we can take, though.
And we're about to go into a little bit more of a show-off game as we have Vipers versus the Landslides. We're coming into this one a little bit later, and so we're going to jump into the final game of the night. And the Vipers have had an impressive night so far. The Landslides, we've not seen tonight, are back after a week break. They are on an outside high school team competing in Esports Tower, so that could mean that they're a little bit of a disadvantage. I highly doubt it, though, since the outside teams tend to be just as equal as our Esports Tower teams and go toe-to-toe with them very well. So let's see how this last game of the evening shakes out.
Yeah, let's see it. What are you expecting to see?
I honestly am very excited to see what the Vipers bring to the table. I'm sure they've had their coaches in their ears a little bit. We've seen them multiple times this evening, and every time we see them, they've just gone and improved a little bit more every single time, and it's a measurable improvement as we see a nice little cheeky kickoff there from the Landslides between 2 of them, but it does not work out as now the Vipers have possession.
Talk about Viper possession. They take a goal right, just threading the needle in between 3 players sitting in the goal. Going off to kick off 2.
And some beautiful fake out will allow Zyder to get a shot on goal, but Toge will turn it away. That's a player we've seen before quite a few times, actually, so let's hope that they are able to pop off quite a bit this evening for themselves. We have Zariel with possession, spikes it high, and will lose out their ball to Hawker is better. Greed in front of the goal, tries to grab it, but Toge will get the clear. It is almost an open goal. Hawker's better is there, though. Reads it well, gets a demolition onto Toge in the process, but the ball is still here in front of the Vipers' goal as Gravity Flare is looking to center it up for someone.
I think Gravity Flare did not really cooperate on that one. It looks like he popped it up over a teammate that was looking to drop it in. Maybe that was a coordination that just didn't quite connect. Maybe I missed who was on what team, but hopefully their mics are hot and they're really working together here. We see a demo, they're going for it, but Toke is able to keep it out from the goal. Playing goalie today a little bit, Toke has been.
Toke's actually been a pretty solid defensive player. Their rotations are always really good. The Landslides all together as a team have been a tough team for Esports Towers in the past, Esports Tower teams in the past to defeat. And the coaches say that they're a very talented roster as a whole.
That's important because Vipers are a very solid roster as well, with players who've been ET for a few months now. In fact, Hawker has been a great influence to the other players on his team too. Their
leadership has actually been a point of inspiration for their teammates and definitely paying out in spades tonight as we do see another goal being scored. We've got 3 minutes and 31 seconds left on the clock. This is still anybody's game, though, as it's tied 1-aside now. Toge gets the kickoff, but Greed, who kited back a little bit, managed to get a great volley that results in a goal.
What a brilliant play. Starting with Zydra going for the fake and then setting up. They absolutely capitalized on the other team's commit. one for the boats.
Hopefully that's clipped and highlighted and put in someone's demo reel in the future, as we've got great possession here on the side, but Toke will come after them with full force. Hawker's better will try to get a touch on it as well. Toke, though, dropping it down. It does drop in front of Zydra, though. Zydra, with a little bit of help from Greed, will be able to take this ball away from Toke, but Toke will get some help from Zuriel there. We've got some double commits happening now from both sides here on the corner of the Viper side of the field.
Well, it's getting pretty intense, and that's what tends to happen. We get one more from the landslides, and we're back to an even game. Let's see if they can keep it off their side of the field. Gravity Flare looking to get ready. Doesn't know if he wants to be forward or backward. Instead of standing still, does a little bit of ooching.
Ooh.
And he's just not ready to defend that goal.
The Vipers right now are up by 1 game. You can see our little ticker down there. We did jump into this in game 2. So the Vipers looking to close out this game without a single loss to the Landslides, whereas the Landslides are hoping to come out of this one on top and bring us into a game 3. They've got just over 2 minutes and 30 seconds to find 2 goals here, as Gravity Flare is just getting thrown around right now by the Vipers players. Lots of physical aggression, car-on-car damage happening, and it'll allow the Vipers to get a little touch here and try to get this volley across midfield. They will be able to do it with some great passing between Hawker's better and Greed as the demolition comes out.
Gravity Flare looking to be the lone defender on that goal, trying to send it back over to the blue side so they can dethrone the King. 2 minutes for 2 goals. Can they do it? Greed says no, starts sending it back. Looking for a chip here. A little bit high. Maybe someone can catch a rebound. Hawker, who's better, steps up to the plate, but Toke on the defense doesn't let it happen, and we're back to scrambling for the ball. Several commits at a time, but the rotations are still looking clean. Greed getting ready to pop it up. Ooh, Hawker's
there might have been an overcommit. Overcommit!
Looks to send it in. Greed takes it back out.
Oh,
Right off of Zydra into his own goal. The Landslides are able to take one, getting a little bit closer.
They've got plenty of time as we go into this next kickoff. We are now at that 100-second mark for this game 2. This could be the good night for the Landslides, and the Vipers walking away with a clean victory, or the Landslides could pull us into a game 3, which would be very exciting for everyone here tonight, as we just see Green unfortunately overdrive that ball line. Gravity Flare to get a great volley over into the corner on the Viper side of the field.
Ooh, a beautiful chip in midair. 4 cars on screen. A great play. That's the physics major geometry that you were talking about earlier.
Exactly. I'm telling you, if you're great at this game and can make shots and plays like that, just go study physics or mathematics. We're currently tied at 3 aside now. We might see a buzzer beater yet again, or we could see this go into overtime and both Greg and I lose our voices. I'm hoping it's the latter of the 2, because that's always fun, as we've got Zero playing off the sidewall, but Zydra's there to keep the ball alive here. Over on the side of the Landslides, Vipers will lose their possession finally as Toke tries to bring it up and Greed's rotating back towards the goal.
Yeah, I did not sign up to be casting a RL so that I could talk tomorrow. We want to see an overtime. Let's see it.
We've got Gravity Flare going in to try and get a shot on goal, but Zydra will come in and disrupt that opportunity. There's a shot on goal, but there's 2 members of the Vipers, not quite what you need to be seeing in the goal, but it will allow them to elevate with the ball. Gravity has to stop this ball from going in. They managed to do that, but can they stop the follow-up? They cannot. Zydra coming in for goal number 4 for the Vipers as we got 33 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, what a beautiful follow-up by the Vipers. 33 seconds to make a goal. Do you think they can do it? Oh,
they might! They might!
Sends it right in there. But an excellent defense prevents it, and Gravity Flare looking to follow up on it. Just keep it moving. Not quite. Still kind of stuck in that corner. We see 2 commits. Gravity Flare going right into the face of his player, Toke.
We've got Hawkers better with possession, has to play it around multiple members of the Landslides. They will lose out their dribble, but Greed's there to help them out. Zerill's the only one over by the goal. Greed's coming in to try and take advantage of that lack of pressure on them. Zydra comes in onto the corner, but Toke will beat them to the ball. Hawker is better rotating back, trying to collide with Toke, and the ball will hit the ground. Vipers will walk away with the win, up by 1. Congratulations, Vipers, on walking away with that victory.
So close there. What a good effort put up by the Landslides. We're really making progress there. I thought they might have it.
That was some good Rocket League. I mean, those were some high-scoring games in comparison to what we saw all tonight, but it was very exciting. Love to see that and hope to see more next week.
Yep, some quality aerial plays, some sneaky trick shots, and a lot of good cooperation goals.
Well, if you want to get the opportunity to have maybe one of these rumbles give you the chance to have some college recruiters take a look at you and possibly talk directly to industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured rumbles. Recruiters are taking notes of these events as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Check them out at esportstower.com. All right, so I know you weren't with me here casting on desk for our first few games, but you were watching. You were in our production room. After all, you are a jack of all trades, have many skills so far within the esports production here.
Thank you.
And so since you got the opportunity to see all that, we do have, the last thing we got to take care of, which is that ICCU player of the game.
Take care of it indeed.
So who's your suggestion?
I don't know. I want to say maybe Thrift. We saw some good ones from Thrift earlier on.
All right, so Thrift was going to be my first one, but if you were going with the Thrift, I have to go with the Nano, because Nano was like, just honestly, like, Oh, we're both going to be wrong.
Dyer.
It's going to be Dyer. So
Well,
congratulations, Dyer. You definitely deserve that ICCU player of the game. The player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Dyer is your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Congratulations, my friend. And just know, we only make suggestions. We're just trying to throw some names out there so production has some ideas. They ultimately are the rulers of that one, and they deem you our player of the game this evening, Dyer. Congratulations.
Well done.
All right, so as we prepare to close out of this insane week 2 start, how do you feel?
I feel good. Those were some good games. We had some good overtime, and we had some good buzzer beaters, too.
Yeah, the buzzer beaters give me more anxiety. I'm hoping to see more next week as we go into our cup game. So make sure you come and join us next week at the same time. Congratulations to all of the players, and thank you for tuning into this week's strong performances. The group stage had a ton of close games and really showed just how talented all of these teams are. The Eagles have claimed the top spot for the group stage and are undefeated this week and have the chance to come back for the Octane Cup and possibly win it all undefeated. Join us next week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the cup games to wrap up this rumble and see which of the teams can come out on top right here at the Boise State Twitch page. We'll close out tonight with the top 5 presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 job offerings, $20,000 in bonuses, and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there.
Favor of the Thunderbirds, so that is a great kind of interception from them to clear it back and over, but Adrift is going to try to stop shot on goal, but it doesn't work. Siccone getting the first goal.
That took over half of this second game to finally redirected.
That is kind of a warning light, if you will, from the Ghosts of just rotating up too far up the field. Jababy for Ghosts is going to hang back there, be the goalie. Left tap from the other Jababy back over toward where Nano is, and attack again. I don't know if that could have been more perfectly redirected.
Though goes off the side, Endercrafter coming in to take it back. It's being dug out by all 3 of the Ghosts. A little bit scary there on the semi-triple commit.
Does look like the Ghosts need to start spreading out a little bit, or the Mammoths will capitalize on the lack of space the Ghosts have, and they already did as Endercrafters.
And against the world as they keep pushing it back into the goal, and he has to try to send it back out just like that. Looking for the clear, but it just doesn't quite happen. Finally, falling onto the orange side, Eagles looking to steal it back from him, send it towards an open playing field. They're already set up for it, and it looks like we might be going into overtime unless we can get a buzzer beater right here. 2 seconds left on the clock.
Hawker is better, is there with them, but Thrift just threads the needle, gets in that passing lane almost every time it steals that ball away.
Nano now elevating up off the backboard, but nice for Z Hydra to knock it over to the corner, prevent the follow-up, but Eagle's going to say, we're going to do another follow-up.
There was a demo on